Jesus. I'm back. Remember how I said my graphics card might need to be replaced? We might want to have to also potentially add the CPU. I don't want to, but we might have to. Anyway, I need to do my configuration because I have my Xbox controller here that I use for my. Oh, I forgot you guys are over here. Sorry. I have my Xbox controller that I normally use, and for some unknown reason, XPlane 11 and XPlane 12 do not talk to each other. I wish they did. It would make my life so much more easier to be moving stuff between each other. When I say that, I mean moving like my controls. Uh, so I need to do some minor configurations because I've been flying for just a few days just to get used to it before I went back on the VATSIM, but I figured I'd give this a try, and also I got not much else to do tonight, so I'm gonna try to figure this out. That should be it. I don't know why it doesn't do that, and then yeah, I remember. I don't know why I set it to that. I don't want it on that. Also, yeah, so it seems like for some reason, when you go to XPlane 12, it's got some weird stuff. For example, on XPlane 11, when I fly when I fly any plane, it doesn't have to be just a specific. Ow. Sorry, I heard something out in my apartment. Um, when you throttle down fully, it stops, at idle. And then I normally would hold down, I set the Y button to be my reversers. Yet for some reason, which I'm sure if you know, like on Airbus airplanes, the reversers are you put the thrust levers at idle, and then you push it back further to get it in reversers. Whereas on Boeing, it's literally on the reversers, you have to pull them up from the throttle. Well, for some reason, every time when I put my controller to idle, it puts them in reversers unless I specifically put it right at the right spot. Why this is beyond me, but is something I'm hoping to figure out. What I also got to figure out is what button do I want to make be. I'm gonna leave it unassigned. I don't really want it on. Just don't use it. Or do nothing, actually. That should be, yeah, there you go. So that's the one I want. And then Y, yeah, hold thrust reversers at max. This should be throttled down a bit. I don't know why it's doing that. It should be right. I will say there's a chance, and it could just be because I was flying last night the A350, and right now we're gonna be flying the A320, so maybe that has something to do with it, but who knows? Wow, that's quite loud. Hold on, I'm turning that down. Well, I'm also gonna turn it down for myself as well. Alright, well, I guess let's kind of get to it. So we're in a cold dark set right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and get some type of flashlight out because I want to turn the batteries on, so let's go ahead and do that. Again, we're in the A320 again today, so this should be a pretty fun ride to do. So yeah, alright, let's go ahead and get that started. Let's go ahead and get the APU going. It's going to take a second. I can go ahead and I can turn off the aviation flashlight now. Alright, oh, there you go, starlight's on. Go ahead and put the probe and window heat on. And then I'm going to go ahead, just want to make sure everything else there is good. For now, then everything should be fine. And then I'm going to come down here and did I select the A350? So, funny story. Apparently I don't even know what plane I'm in. Oh, Jesus. And apparently my camera's frozen. Wonderful. Hold on. There we go. So yeah. Well, alrighty then. Let me figure this out quickly. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna have to let me turn this off for a second. Yeah, so you can't see it because I'm gonna go in my configuration. I gotta change some stuff around. I guess I'm just a little bit. I don't know what I am. That's you want to call it an oops on my part. Um, yeah, that's a my bad. Sorry about that. So let me go ahead and get the right one up. Let me also pull out of that sim because I shouldn't. I don't want to stay connected if I'm gonna be changing stuff around. So, well, this is fun. We're on a roll, folks. We're on a roll. So this is probably gonna take some time for it to load. So if you have any questions, chat's there. I'm watching it. I'll do my best to watch it. Feel free to send stuff. My friend, I asked him tonight. I'm like, I was at a hockey game, so one of my friends from there. I asked him, I'm like, hey, give me 2 major cities in the continental U.S. And he's like, all right. Well, first he said Dubai, and I'm like, that's continental, but I did forget to tell him continental U.S. Um, there we go. Let me first finish the story before I continue on. What the hell? Oh yeah, I remember now. Okay. Um, Sorry, I noticed something new because they changed some stuff in the XPlane 12 version of the A320 for some reason from the XPlane 11. And I saw it and I thought for a second I was in a Boeing 737. So, basically, I'll turn this back on now. You can see it. He told me to go ahead to do the go from Honolulu to capital of Alaska, Juneau, whatever it's called, Juneau something. I figured that's not that bad, so I got home. I load up Sim Toolkit Pro. Turns out that flight is approximately 6 hours long. Now I don't know what time it is where you are, but it's 11:05 here. I think you could see that because I'm going home tomorrow for spring break, and it's like a 6 hour drive for me. I don't want to be up until like 5 in the morning. So we're gonna do something simpler. So if he ever sees this, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to start blabbing all of his names online. Um, he'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's get back to it. So let me go ahead. Let me reconnect to VATSIM. All right, we're on VATSIM again, and let's go ahead and get. Let's try this again, part 2. Um, so let's go ahead to the top. We'll go ahead and we'll get batteries 1 and 2 on. Let's go ahead and get external power on. So this is apparently an high definition version of the A320. Looks really nice, I must say. And it functions so differently than the rest. Like you can literally see, like the glow looks a lot more realistic from the lights, and it's more realistic when the fault lights deilluminate versus when they illuminate. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get the IRS aligned. We'll go ahead and get the fuel pumps running so we can start our APU soon. let's go ahead and get that on. I'm gonna try to look. I tend to go a little bit out of order when I put some stuff on, so my apologies if you don't like it. Alright, let's go ahead. So I'm getting a notification. Apparently, stream send rate is not doing too well. I'm gonna try to see if I can figure out why it's doing that and how to fix it, because I don't want you guys to be stuck with something bad. Let me, if I change it to speed, maybe it'll get better. Now, let's see what happens. So, I apologize if it's going to cause quality issues, but I'd rather you guys not have buffering issues. So I'm going to try to do the best I can to get you guys the best quality I can do. Anyway, so here we are. Let's go ahead and get started. So, I'm going to go ahead. I don't want to pull that one up. There we go. That's the one I want. So, I'm going to go ahead and perform initial. Let's go ahead and, I like to pull this out because then I can type on it. We're going to go ahead and do KIAH to K Atlanta. We're going to do something easy, also something that hopefully still has coverage. Let me double check. It appears so. We're going to have clearance delivery, ground online, tower online, and damn it. Well, we still have some center, but when we land, there's not going to be anything. At least there was, now there's not. We could still change it, but then I have to refile my flight plan. I'd say we fly to Atlanta, and then we can reevaluate how we feel. Because I'm feeling, you know, I know people, they like going out partying. This is kind of my version of partying, so we'll have a little fun tonight, folks. So, yeah, let's just go ahead. We'll still fly to Atlanta, at least for now. So let me go ahead and leave that it is. Our call sign, if you don't know me, I apologize, but I am one who always goes by Delta 1546. And the only reason why is because if you ever watched a movie with the Miracle on the Hudson, you know, he goes by Cactus 1549. I just love how it sounds, but again, I didn't want to be that guy that just kind of just uses whatever I could find, so I just used Delta 1546, and I've been using it since. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull out our load sheet. You can't see it, I apologize, but I can tell you what it's telling me to put in. I have the OFP from SimBrief, Sim Toolkit Pro, as you can see, which is what you're seeing above me. Damn it, I'm frozen again. There I am. If you can see, hold on, right up there. It's from Sim Toolkit Pro. So that's basically what's telling me to put in. So we're gonna have cost index of 5, and we're looking to do flight level 350, which should be approved. I don't see a reason why they would disapprove it. We'll go ahead and we'll get the calculation stuff from Toolas. This is a Toolas plane if you didn't realize it. So pull that out. So SimBrief wants us to have 184 passengers on, so we'll set it to 184. Cargo weight's gonna be 4890, but our sewer fuel weight should be 68,684, which is what I try to match instead. Which actually we're surprisingly over for that. So I like to have more weight on the front than on the back. You might think, but we take off from the back. There we go. Now we're at excellent stream quality, so we should be good. Normally, you like to take. You think, well, the plane's here. You want the weight on the back. Yeah, but I literally accidentally set it one time where just sitting at the ramp, the plane just goes like that. I keep forgetting you're over there. I'm sorry. Hi. Um, so I don't like doing that. It's not good. I think if you can't figure that out, I'm sorry, but it's a little obvious that I would think that it's not good for a plane to be at the gate and just do that. So I try to put more weight on the front than on the back, is what I'm essentially saying. Just giving us what? Who knows? We'll figure it out. There's probably something weird's going on. So we're not gonna be able to get to 684, but we can try to get as close as we can to that number. So we have similar weight in the front and the back, a little bit more in the front. So I'm happy with that. I think that's good. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna apply those load settings. I literally also like to make sure that the plane did not tip on this front, which it did not. So we're good. We're cruising. Damn it, where is it? There it is. Block fuel. We are looking to get. This is telling us to do 83.51. So I'm just gonna get us to 84 because I'm rounding. I'm a rounder. I like to round stuff up. So we'll do 8400. Quick refuel, defuel. It's good. Alrighty. I'm gonna add some air. So that should be good. Okay. And go ahead and pull this back out. I shouldn't have closed that because the whole reason why I did that was not only to load the plane, but I also need those performance numbers. So we're off to a great start, folks. And that's why I'm your pilot today. It's pretty active on the text chat. I don't know why not on the voice chat, which I haven't even joined yet. So let's go ahead. Our zero fuel weight's gonna be 68,684, but this can only take in 68. It's gonna have to end up being rounding up to 7. And our cargo zero fuel weight cargo percentage is gonna be 26.1%. And our block fuel is gonna be 8.351, because you can assume that I think you can figure it out. It's 1.0 is 1,000 kilograms, but this is gonna round up to 8.4. And this is going to run all the calculations for me, tell us, for each trip, yada, and all that fun stuff that I don't have to do, which is great, because I don't really like doing math. I hope you feel the same way. I'm like very ready to start debates about almost anything even the stupidest things out there. I'll be ready to start debates. So now that that's in there, we can go ahead. I'm gonna get our flight plan in there, so let's go ahead and do that. This is where I personally feel like I'm the strongest at doing, is putting flight plans in, because why not? This wants us to take off runway 15 left. However, I'm gonna check what ATIS is gonna say. Instead of reading it through through my vPilot, I'm gonna actually read it from here for you, so you can look at it. Parameter and 15 left. So okay, so they are using 15 left, so I have really a good shot at saying, can I use it? Because they are using it for departures. So we're gonna go ahead and do Mugs 4, and we're gonna be using a LCH transition. The hell are they saying on there? They're just going all out at it. I don't know why. So pre-filled all that stuff for us, so that's great. I'm gonna go ahead and insert an airway, so we're gonna be using the Q24 to Peden. Oh, that type of payton. And then after that, I'm gonna do the Shire, and then we're gonna have our arrival info, which I'm hoping to get 26 right for ILS. There's a well, there isn't any ATC there, so it's not like anyone can stop me. So we're gonna be doing the Hobbit 2 arrival with the Shire transition. Uh-oh. Oh, Jesus. Well, that's great. Clearance, delivery, and ground just went offline. Um, I guess, I mean, Tower's still on, so I'll just go to him. But there's a chance that he might just kick off as well, and if he does, I might get sad. If center goes offline too, then I'll be really upset. Oh, it's a transition. Okay, I was confused. I couldn't find the the there it is, a Shire, but it's a transition. It's not a what's it called? I can't think of the word, but it's not the separate thing. Yeah, damn it, I can't think of the word. So I'm gonna go in here. There's gonna be discontinuity or manual, and that's just to align with the runway. I like to take those out because I feel once I get in line. Oh, there we go. What, is there no tower either? So I like to remove the manual and the discontinuity, make it all continuous. Makes my life easier because I kind of just, once I get in line with the runway, I just kind of go. So we'll go ahead, we'll insert that, and that will give us, I like to do flaps 2 every time, and our runway slope, normally I check it because why not? Today, well, it's really negative 0.083 or negative 0.1 if you want to call it, but this only has 0, 1, or 2, or 3, or negative 0, or 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. I can't really put it halfway. So because of that, I'm going to leave it at 0. So we can go ahead into our performance, and we put our V1, VR, and V2.
United 1630, Houston traffic on Beltway 4, departure about 10 miles away from Beltway,
What the heck?
climbing up to cruising altitude of 360.
Okay, I don't know if you saw that, the numbers literally changed right in front of my eyes. I guess they're different now. That was a little weird. So we're going to go flaps 2, and our THS is going to be up 0.6. And our flex temp is going to be 51. We don't have to worry about takeoff shift. Flex temps in there. That's good, that's good. Oh, very good. Alright, I don't need this anymore, except for, well, I'll turn off the ground services eventually. So, that's all nice. Let me see, is 8 still on? Nope, 8, and, well, that's wonderful. Tower just went offline. So, we still have a shot with Houston Center, but I have a feeling that he's gonna go offline. So, we might just be flying this on Unicom. If we do, I'm sorry. Yeah. Let me go ahead and get these overhead lights on, and then we'll go ahead and start getting other lights on. Get wing lights, nav lights on. Don't need any of those on yet. Oh, I never started the APU. I should probably do that. So, everything else is on. I'm going to do my rundown, make sure everything's all set here. It is. Good. Make sure all this is good. That's good. I can't really set any of that. I'm going to set my weather radar on. I'll put it on system 1. And I'm going to put a tilt up on it because that's how it will read. turn my floodlights on. Now, normally, I'd get a clearance, and they'd give me what they want me to squawk. I don't have that. So, I'm gonna try asking Center if he's online. But if he ain't gonna be online, then we're gonna be doing this silently. I'll squawk 2000 and we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna turn my brake fan on because I can tell that it's gonna be a problem eventually. Set the cockpit door to lock. That's all good. This is new. They put this tablet in here, which is actually kind of cool. You can literally actually... Oh yeah, I forgot. You can change literally everything on here, which makes it kind of easier. I can actually put... I forgot. I can put the specific numbers that I want to put in. So actually, I can make this a little bit more realistic and change that to 8351. And I can go ahead and... I could make this... I'm just going to go... I'm going to add, like, 4... just so it's 68684. Now it's perfect. Our takeoff performance shouldn't be that much different. Yeah, no, well, it just changed. Alright, we're gonna be changing this again. We're on a roll, folks. We're doing great. Up 0.6, flaps 2. I have it. Oh, no, wait. You know, it takes skill to... Why does it think we're at IH? Are we at... Oh, we are at IH. Oh, I kept... Why did... I'm all over the place. We're doing great, folks. We're doing just great. Let me reset this. I don't know why it's acting weird. I'm trying to... I don't want it to be on flaps 1. I want it to be on flaps 2. But it won't let me select flaps 2. I want it on flaps. Oh, there we go. Flaps 2. Now compute. Yeah, I mean, the numbers are still a little different, so I'll put it in just in case. 145. Up 0.6.
Houston traffic, American 436, final runway 16 left.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the approach is offline. So that's good. Flex temp's going to be, well, it's, I mean, it's off by 1 degree, so I guess this is kind of a good thing. Yep, and approach just went offline.
Houston traffic, United 756, clear runway 27, Houston.
Alrighty. So that's good. I'm gonna put that away. For kicks and giggles, if you guys want to see, I'll do my test. So this is gonna be the test for the APU, engine 1 and engine 2 fire lights. I lied, just the APU fire
Houston
light.
traffic, Diamond 390 Alpha, taking
good.
off our runway 15
Engine
left
1.
to the northwest. Houston traffic.
That's good. Engine 2. That's good. This is gonna be interesting. Normally, the way you would test CVR or the cockpit voice recorder, is you turn that on.
And Houston traffic,
and
another one on ILS 20 miles for runway
I'm
26
actually
left,
surprised it
Houston
worked.
traffic.
That's what's supposed to happen when you hit test.
Houston
So
traffic, American
I'll leave that on.
2209, 10 mile final, ILS runway 26
I'm gonna
left.
turn this. I gotta turn that to on. Generator 1, 2 should have faults, so that's fine. I'll go ahead and make sure APU power gen is on. This is gonna flash for a second. Hopefully I don't lose anything. I didn't. That's great. We're on a roll, folks. So next, what I'm thinking we're gonna do is let me get the weather, because I don't think anyone's online who's supposed to be taking over.
Houston traffic,
I'm gonna
American 436
double
vacated,
check.
26 left.
I'll reload my VATSIM map just to make sure that there's no... Oh, there is a setup.
Houston traffic.
Although, oh,
Align
it's
with
been
the
on for
localizer
4
to
hours.
runway
Oh my god.
027.
Yeah, I could see why
on
he might be
20 mile.
kicking us off. So, let me go ahead and just see.
traffic, United 756 is on Sierra Bravo. We're going to take Sierra Charlie.
I'm
for
gonna
ramp.
still check in with him just in case he tells me not. Oh, that's realistic. I want to pull that away. No, go away. Go away. Come on. There we go. Okay. Let me grab my iPad because I normally use that to write down if they give me a clearance. They do. So I'm gonna be right back. I'm frozen again. Oh my god, we're going great, folks. There we go. I'll be right back. Yeah, let me go grab my iPad. It's just right on my bed. Gotta go grab it.
Mic off.
Houston traffic, United 25th is on final road, it's 27.
Traffic, United
Mic on.
46 is joining left downwind runway 27.
Alrighty, I'm back. Told you it wouldn't be that long. Is for some reason, why is chat disabled? Shouldn't be. Oh, why are they disabled? What? That makes no sense. Hold on. Alright, I guess I have to make this not suitable for kids, I guess. I don't know why. That's strange, but yeah. Let me just change that because it should be on.
Houston traffic, JetBlue 21 kilo on 10 mile runway 27 and decrease speed to 180 knots until 4 km.
Now chat should be enabled.
And Houston traffic, Sun Country 1892, we're on a 9-mile final for 26 left.
Okay. So that should fix chat. I don't know why it wasn't there. So let me go ahead, check in with Houston Center, and we'll see what's going on. So he's on 126.875.
Fast forward speed United 2365.
Let me make sure this is actually him. I don't want to contact the wrong center. Yeah, no, this is him. Okay. So let me go ahead and check with him. Where's my thing? Here it is. Alrighty.
Houston Center, good evening, Southwest 1656, Falcon 370.
I'll go ahead and I'll contact him. Let me... Oh yeah, no, not yet. I'm not gonna go squad mode Charlie. Just making sure I don't step on anybody.
Direct link, United
There we
2250.
go. Let me wait. Alright, let's go ahead. Good evening, Center. This is Delta 1546 with you at Houston International. We're looking to pick up IFR clearance to Atlanta. Are you there?
That's partially blocked.
Oh, it was. Damn.
Direct link. At link, resume the arrival, and that's United 2013.
Left direct check United.
Is he... I guess I'm gonna repeat it again. I guess I got stepped on. I don't know. Let's see. Good evening, Center. Delta 1546 with you at Houston International. We're looking to pick up IFR clearance to Atlanta. Hello? Anybody there?
Direct JPEG link for arrival, descend via the arrival at the 3020 net.
Come on, drop by 7 heavy.
I mean, it's supposed to be that the center takes over for everybody.
2.8 United 2365
If he's on.
everyone.
I don't know why he's not answering.
2.8 things stop tonight. United 2250.
Going to intercom, great job tonight, Giants.
I guess he's logging off. I'm just gonna go to Unicom and let's go ahead and reverse out. I'm looking to do. Let's go ahead and get better push back going. We'll pre-plan it. Thinking to do.
Southwest 707 is going to be remaining heading 087.
Like right there. I mean, it's not realistic, but it's what we'll have to do.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged.
Houston traffic runway 27 vacated.
Let's go ahead and tell them we're ready to go.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And Houston traffic runway 26 left clear.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna ask them.
Houston traffic United 462 is 10 mile final runway 27.
I'm gonna turn off the external power. We don't need it. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. Gonna ask them on there. Houston traffic Delta 1546. Are we supposed to be checking in with center, or are they going offline?
They've been offline for a while, but
really, they're still listed as online.
Yeah, he's controlling in the ocean. There he goes. He's offline.
All right. Never mind. He's offline. Thank you very much. I guess for reference, Delta 1546, we're going to be pushing back out of the gate now.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
I guess that answers our question. I love this. I get ready. I'm like good to go. I'm pumped. And once I'm ready to go, they all disappear. It's like we're on a roll. So I'm gonna wait for him to do his thing. Oh, I need to get the altimeter. Set that. I'm gonna just get it from the meter here. So I'm gonna change this over to American, which is HPA, not inches of mercury. I lied. Not MB, but inches of mercury. So we're on 3017 is our altimeter here at Houston International.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to get ready for engine start. So, release, and
starting pushback, and you may start
we are pushing back. There we go. Alright, we'll go ahead, engine 1.
Houston tracker, JX 1846 on the ILS.
We should be going up. I think I know what the problem is. Yep, that's what I thought. I forgot to turn on the engine, the APU bleed, which is kind of important. Very quick explanation if you're not familiar. Basically, the way this works is the auxiliary power unit has, I'll show you the little display, is a little tiny engine assist in the back. It's got a little starter in it. Once it turns on, it uses a very small amount of fuel than the engines, and it does not produce any thrust. Rather, instead, its main goal is to produce electrical power, as well as, I'll fix that after, to produce electrical power, as well as to give some air pressure. Air pressure is what's used to start both the engines through an air chamber, and then uses air to spin. I'm gonna. They're all talking.
Traffic jet X1846, number 2, ILS.
They're not gonna give me a chance. Alright, let's go ahead and get, so that's available. Now, the way that that works is the air goes into a chamber and it spins the engine fast, and well, it acts as a starter essentially. So that's how it starts the engines, and then once we're on that, the engines will produce all the airflow we need, will produce electrical power. That's what the generator fault lights are on for, that's why they're acceptable. You see generator 1's off because the engine's available, and generator 2 is off. It still has the fault light because it's not ready to go yet. So when this happens, it's also kind of why we turn off the we turn off the air conditioning in the back, because we kind of have to. We need all as much
Operation
air
complete.
to go.
Set parking brake.
Alright, so they're done. We'll set the parking brake. We're gonna go ahead and set this to normal because it's available now, and we don't need the APU bleed on anymore, nor do we need the APU generator. So we can go ahead and turn the APU off, kill the master switch. I'll leave that on for now, but this will eventually turn off on its own. It's just going to start slowing down. So you can see the flap's going to eventually close, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to all. It's going to cycle through. We're good to disconnect. I need to, so I don't get that warning anymore, I got to make both sides equivalent. So 3017, that's good. I'm going to set our altitude out to 3,500.
462 vacated runway 27.
Hose disconnected and bypass
I'm going to
pin
press
has been
on
removed.
Squawk Mode Charlie as well.
Well, see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay. So I've just put us on Squawk Mode Charlie, so that should be good. And we can go ahead and we can get our taxiway preparations ready to go. I'm going to look at the map, which is on my right here, and then we'll be good to go. And my thing's frozen once again.
Traffic advisory, Airbus 1660 about a pushback from stand by.
Traffic 246.
I hate how it does this. My camera just goes away. Why did it go away?
Yeah, the next guy on 26 left, there's slight shear at the end of
I don't know why it's gone. Alright, sorry you can't see my beautiful face anymore. I know it's disappointing, but...
Houston traffic, bye-bye, and wish everyone had a wonderful flight.
So, oh well, I guess you can't see my face for now. It's alright. Alrighty, getting ready to go. We're gonna put our spoilers armed. We're gonna put our flaps out to 2. We're gonna go ahead, we'll let them go out to takeout position. This is kind of a little bit of a mini checklist. Our auto brake, we're gonna put that to max. And we're gonna do our forward call to inform that we're getting ready for takeoff. And they'll give back a cue that says they're ready to go. Okay, I guess they gave back the cue because I didn't hear it.
traffic 1846 clear of runway 26 and left.
And then we'll do a takeoff config. Normal, good to go. Alrighty. Awesome. I'm going to put my runway turning lights on as well as our taxi lights. And you can see now we can see everything a lot better, which is what we want. Alrighty. Let's see if this turns off the parking brake. Yes, it does. Great. Alright. So I should have controls. I do. I'm going to go outside and then confirm that. So, good. That's good. That's good. That's good. The rudder goes up. And my feet should be moving. And my wheels should be moving. So yeah, beautiful. Alrighty. So I'm gonna go ahead, let me go ahead and plan my taxiway, and then I'm gonna inform the ATC. So I'm looking at my charts, so if you want to, you can, don't mean to be, sound rude about it, but, it's hard for me to show multiple things at the same time from on screen. So I'm gonna be taking, it's gonna be Robert Charlie to Whiskey Bravo to Whiskey Whiskey. to get to 15 left. So let me go ahead and let them know. Houston traffic, Delta 1546, about to taxi via Robert Charlie to Whiskey Bravo to Whiskey Whiskey, and then holding short of runway 15 left, Delta 1546. Alrighty, good to go, and let's get to it. I'm gonna up the throttles a little bit. I don't want to go anything faster. I have a ground speed. You can, how do you know what my ground speed is? It's literally, it's right there. There, you can see a little bit better. It's on the top there. You don't want to go anything faster than like 15, at least 20. Anything over 30 is gonna be a problem, because the way I stop is I use a parking brake, and the parking brake will not stop this plane if it's up over 30. Then I need to start using speed brakes and the auto brake, which you'll see happen when I land, if we land. That being said, I'm doing pretty good with not crashing and hurting people, so let's keep it that way. Alright, so here's Robert Charlie. And we'll make sure we're not going to be conflicting with any aircraft. We're not. Good. We're doing great, guys. Although there's no real controller experience that I'm gonna have, it's at least, it's alright that at least, you know, I get to be kind of on it. You know, at least, yeah, even if I have to, like, be talking to Houston traffic and just making up what I want to do, it's fine. It's at least something, and it counts. You can see I just used my brake there to kind of stop it. So we're approaching, this is going to be Whiskey Bravo, and I want to make a right. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my computer really likes this program, especially the fact that it really pushes it to its max, being that it'll, it really likes to put the fan speeds to high, even though there's like 5 fans in there and what's not, but this XPlane really does push a PC, I like to tell people.
Airbus 1660 Charlie Echo 1, pushing start George W. mission.
So we're going to be approaching.
Delta 122 pushing back face east from RAM 119.
Alright, and we're going to be approaching Whiskey Whiskey right here. I'll just inform them that we're going to be taking off. Houston traffic, excuse me, Delta 1546, approaching runway 15 left, going to be taking off. Let's go ahead, get ready on this turn. And we're going to get...
Traffic, there was 166 currently on Echo Echo. We're going to be taxiing to runway 15 left shortly.
Okay. So, I don't see any reason, I don't see any aircraft on finals. I've probably given way more than enough notice that I'm taking off. So, I think we're good to go. don't see any more aircraft. I'm just gonna do one final check.
Houston traffic, Alaska 1450, 18-mile final for runway 27, Houston.
Okay. So we're gonna go on. Let me go ahead and get my landing lights on, because, well, they're gonna have to be on, and we'll set my takeoff light on. And then we'll go ahead and get the chronometer setting, which is just gonna track the time. And then here we go. And let's go ahead and increase the full to flex throttle. Alright, here we go.
Houston traffic, Southwest 707, 10-mile final for runway 26 left.
80 knots, doing good, airspeed's alive. I'm trying to control it, but it keeps pushing me to the right.
Last station, city,
To the left, I mean.
which runway?
And we're approaching B1.
10-mile final, Southwest 707.
And rotate.
Roger, Southwest 707.
We'll climb at a positive rate, and we'll do gear up. And let's go ahead and do a little left turn to just be in line with the flight plan. And I'm going to set to autopilot. And we're flying. And I'm going to wait for this to tell me to put this back to from max throttle. So we're going to want to pick up some airspeed. Alright, there we go. Let me put the level climb, which we're on. There we go. And we're going to have to pick up some airspeed fast. So I'm going to pull that up. That way we continue to climb. And we're flying. So I'm going to pick up some more airspeed before I begin to retract any of the flaps.
Traffic, United 2365, A320 is about 25 miles to the east, setting up for the ILS 26 left, Houston.
Houston traffic, Southwest 707, 5-mile final, runway 26 left.
Houston traffic, DU Southwest 717, do you think we could line up on 26 left or
very good.
November Papa?
I'm gonna retract the spoilers as well as retract my flaps, so we can go a little bit faster now. We don't need all that lift. And let me go ahead and let Houston traffic. Houston traffic cleared runway 15 left, currently climbing with you at 3,700 feet. We got some pretty bad, a lot of looks like you can see the diagram here will actually tell us. So it says we got some 19 knots being applied to us.
Traffic, Alaska 1450, 6-mile final, straight in, 27, Houston.
It's going to be from at a heading of 348 degrees. It's being applied, but it's kind of changing, so it depends. Once we are above 10,000, we can go ahead and we'll turn off our landing lights. So we're doing great, guys. We're gonna be climbing up. We don't need a brake fan on anymore. I only like to put that on only because when I land, the wheels like to really heat up. So yeah, you can say 20 degrees Celsius is probably fine. So our
traffic, Alaska 1450,
I'm just gonna double check
27, Houston.
this. I just want to make sure that we're following everything according to plan. And oh, I didn't realize that there's apparently our frame rate apparently is not doing too well. So it might pop us off of XPilot if there's still an issue. Oh, never mind. It's good. Okay. I was about to say, we can always pop back on, but, like, yeah. It's not good to do that.
Eastern traffic, southwest 707, clear.
We got some traffic potentially.
Houston traffic. This is B Diamond 124 Golf at 5,000. Crossing the
Let me make sure I'm not
Trinity Smith
gonna have any problems.
Eastern traffic, Alaska 1450, vacated runway 27, 0 Foxtrot. Exit 8 concourse. Houston.
Hold on. We might have a problem. Let me double check. I see there's a Boeing Golf. I mean, oh, wait, we're at 12,000 already, so we shouldn't be that much of a problem. He's at 7,000 according to this. Oh, now he's at 5,000, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Let me go ahead and I'll turn the landing lights off. Yeah, there he is. He's over there. We're good.
Victor, Ocean runway 15 left.
Houston traffic, United 2365 is 10 miles to the east, established in the ILS 26 left, Houston.
But there's one other guy I'm looking at. I'm looking at my map. You can't see it, but he might be a problem. This might be a little too loud for you guys. Let me turn it down a bit. There we go. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm looking at it. He might be a problem. I don't know yet. We're only at 14,000. He's at 12,000. There's a lot of people coming in from, like, different spots. I'm gonna just view him from the outside and take a look. Make sure I don't see anybody out of the ordinary. Yeah. He's below us. This should be okay. Let me just make sure I don't see anybody else. Yeah, he's although he's a lot higher than he appears. Actually, yeah, no, he should be okay. As long as he doesn't try to climb, we'll be okay. So, we're cooking. And that's also why we have something called TCAS, which is built into here. It basically is a collision warning system that will, if it detects another plane, it'll have my plane pull up and it'll tell the other plane to pull down, so that way we don't collide with each other. But yeah, you can see, there he is over there. So as we get higher up, the winds are going to get, I don't know if you want to call them worse, but I would. They're going to get, they're going to increase. We're already at 17,000 feet, and we're already getting. It's gonna help us a little bit. It's gonna actually increase our speed and keep it alive. But we're currently.
Diamond 124 Golf. We'll be inbound for an RNAP.
Sorry, let me make sure it wasn't for me. You can see it's actually the arrow here that indicates which direction the winds are blowing, and you can see it's actually blowing in our favor. But as we get up higher, don't be alarmed if you see this number get higher. It could go up to 90, sometimes hundreds. So yeah. All right, let me go ahead. I'm gonna change this to standard. Basically, if you don't know what altimeter is, I can explain it. Altimeter is essentially what the pressure is at each airport, and the pressure will actually define what the altitude is, which is why the altitude just changed a little bit. I believe it's once we hit above 18,000 feet, we utilize standard pressure, and which is like, standard atmospheric pressure. But as we get lower, then we can't use standard pressure. We want to try to get dial it in correctly, so we use altimeter, which is essentially the difference between inches of mercury to HPA. So yeah, there's your little fun fact of the day. And I'll give another one in exactly 2 minutes because it's going to be tomorrow, at least for me. If not for you, I'm sorry. So, let's see. Out there, we're doing pretty good. I'm going to turn the lights down. I think it might be best. What's that? Oh. Yeah, I forgot. These two are not synced up in time. Why that is, I don't know. But because they're not, yeah, it's gonna prevent it. I have to change them as we go. So let's see how we're doing with arrival time. Our ETA looks like it's gonna be an hour, 11 minutes. I'm gonna be up kind of late. Great. Oh well. At least I'm up late with you guys. This is a new panel. I think it has to do with air traffic control. I'm interested. I want to know what it does. So, let me make sure that there's not another controller that's gonna come on suddenly. Because if there is, I need to be ready. Yeah, the worst part is Anchorage Center is literally online, and my friend told me to fly there. So, it's kind of funny. Cleveland has a tower online, but it's not much. So, I hope everyone's day has been great. I know mine has. I was just at a college hockey game. We did the number on the team. Well, yesterday was we went 7-0, and then today we did 5-1. So and this was our quarterfinals game. So now we move on to our semifinals, which is awesome. And we found out we get to play. We're going to be playing our #1 rival actually. So that's kind of cool. Sorry, I didn't realize the top there with all the information. I didn't realize it's looking a little funky. I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. Oh yeah, I forgot. This thing's got a little progress bar on it, so I think that's what it is. I don't know. Hey, we're doing good, guys. We're doing great. Let's see how our wins are. Yep, just what I thought. We're already over 100, and it's actually helping us. It's going to keep our speed pretty high, so that's pretty good. Hello. Did my thing get messed up here? I think it did. My apologies. What the heck? Oh. Alright, I don't know. Again, I might be a little slow. Who knows? So. I am gonna offer one game, and that is, if you should be able to comment. I think I fixed it. If you guys want to guess what you think my landing speed's gonna be, I will then look at it after. So, yeah, I mean, take your guesses, put them in the chat. Obviously, I think it goes without saying, do not put what you think my landing speed will be after seeing what my landing speed is. But, yeah, it's a fun little game we can play. I hope everyone's stay, though, once again, was good. I know mine was. I had a pretty fun time at a college hockey game. So, yeah. So, pretty soon we're going to be hitting our cruising altitude that we want to hit. So, yeah, it's going pretty well. Our speed is alive. We're doing pretty good. We're at 200. I think that's 70 knots. And, oh, we want to slow down apparently. So we're likely going to push upwards more, and that will actually decrease our speed. If we pitch forward, if we pitch down, it's actually going to increase our speed. If we pitch up, it's going to increase our speed. So you can see why this number here is our is how much we're moving up. So you can see it's going down. And we're doing great. And right below here is our Mach number. If you're not familiar, Mach is kind of like one Mach is basically speed of sound. So we're moving at 0.67, now 0.7 Mach. It can frequently change. Just depends. So yeah. I must say, the most beautiful thing to see is, especially once I change the views on the outside to something like this. Like, I just love watching that. I don't know about you. Isn't that the most beautiful thing you ever seen? But I know it's not a lot to see out there, it's only because it's dark, but we're great, guys. I know I sound tired, but again, college hockey kind of, how do I explain this? It tires me, and it might tire me only because I really do push myself, which I did a lot today. So, I guess, you know, we got some time. Why don't I show you all the bits and pieces of the Airbus? Because I know I kind of did that a little bit quickly to take off, so, but I'll show you all the bits and pieces. So we'll start over here. I think this is the most obvious one, is our joystick. If I move it left and move it right, up and down, it controls the pitch and roll. Over in here, this little knob here controls actually the steering of the front nose when we're taxiing, which I commonly use the rudder controls, but it's normally controlled through the same way. Over in this panel, we have our oxygen mask is right here. If there's this pressurization issue, I don't recommend you open this one. If you do that, you'll, well, you open the window. And I don't think I need to explain why that's a bad thing. If we come over to this here, this controls our brightness from our different displays and so on and so forth. This here, again, display control. This is a bit of a speaker from over here that we can hear things, as well as our console floor lights, which should be on, but I don't see them on. I don't know about you. Right here, I think it's pretty obvious, is our main controller. Kind of shows us all the pertinent information that we need to know, such as, you know, which way our aircraft is pitched, if we're going straight, if we're going banking left, banking right, if we're going up or going down. And then this little line there actually tells us what the autopilot is having, that wants the plane to do, and then with it engaged, that's what it has the plane do. You can see it's rocking back and forth. If it's not obvious, the top here, it kind of means that we're pitching upwards, increasing altitude. The bottom here, this dark area, means we're pitching down, and then that's different degrees. So if our marker moves up to the 10, it means we're moving up to our 10 degree marker. We're pitching up 10 degrees, and 20 and 30 and so on and so forth. This right here is our airspeed. This is in knots. So we're trying to aim for 260 knots. This here tells us what the auto throttle wants us to do. So right now we're in throttle climb, which is what auto throttle is. Also tells us if we're ever in idle. Tells us if we go to toga max, which is basically maximum airspeed. This here tells us what the autopilot's mode is, which is OP climb. Altitude means that we're climbing to a specified altitude, which is right there. Nav means, so you can see now we're using Mach numbers to control our airspeed, and at the same time we also now have an altitude hold. So you can see this is going to change, and altitude, you can see CRZ stands for cruising altitude. Well, that's not good. That's not good. Nav just kind of is simple. It's the autopilot telling it where to go. Instead, if I were to change it to like a heading or so on and so forth, something similar to that, it would change stuff around. This is just telling us autopilot 1 is engaged, that the forward directors 1 and 2 are shown, and that the auto throttle is engaged. And this here is our altitude. So you can see we're at 35,000 feet, and this will tell us in feet how high up or down we are. And this here is our vertical speed show. I call it shower, but it kind of tells us how much we're going, how much we're banking up or down. This is showing feet per second. So normally when you descend, you want to be at like 2 feet per second. Nothing too crazy. On the bottom here, we have a little heading, a little heading cone, which kind of just tells us what heading we're at. And that's for this display. Over here we have our map, if you want to call it. Kind of tells us everything we need to know. Where we are, tells us if there's any aircraft that's going to be in our way through the TCAS system, which I explained earlier. It tells us our waypoints, so we can change this to be like navigation like this with headings. We can be VOR vectors, and we can also change to a landing, which I could show you later on. I leave it in this, but you can also set the plan, which then you would, as I scroll through the flight plan on here, I could show you essentially this will change with the different waypoints. That way we can see, make sure everything looks the way we want it to be, and then you can see how it pulls us in for that arrival. So I'll go ahead and we'll reset that back, and I'm going to reset this back to ARC, and then so you can see that little green spot, that's our weather. It's currently enabled with tilt. I'm gonna change this to 0 for now. I might tilt it down. I can change the tilt basically based, that'll tell me where everything is. And then it'll update. This is our terrain radar I'm about to turn on, so you can see it's just showing us where the terrains are. If obviously green means we're okay. Anything that's, you know, like less, or that's orange, or if it gets red, means we're in a trouble zone. Means that our radar is detecting that there's higher, that our terrain rate is lower than what we want to be. So that's our terrain radar. And then once I turn it off, our weather radar comes right back on. You can see this is a waypoint. That's what I was putting in through the flight computer for the plans. This kind of shows how we're moving along. At the top here, we have our ground speed, which is different than our airspeed. What that is a fixed question. And although I'm an engineering major, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure I'll know it sooner. This is our true airspeed, which again, why the two are different, couldn't tell you. I believe these are in, I don't even know what they're in. But they change once we take off. But before, if you remember, that's what it was telling us, how fast we were moving at one point in time. You can see right here, this tells us our winds, where they're pointing at us right now. So you can see there's a 122 knot winds being pushed at us at 266 degrees heading. That's normal for this high level altitudes. Normally that's how the weather works. The higher up you go, the more winds there are. The lower you go, the less winds there are, unless it's stormy out. This tells us what degree pitch we're at up top here, where we're aiming to be, and then our next waypoint. So you can see we're about to approach our waypoint at LSU, and this will likely change. We also have here, this will tell us how far away we are from the waypoint. So you can see we're 14 nautical miles away from that said waypoint. And you can see it's going down and down because we're, well, obviously we're going at a speed. And this will tell us what time in Zulu, what time in Zulu time, or universal time, that we're expected to hit it. So you can see it's 5:15 universal time, and it's gonna then hit it at once it turns 5:16. Then right here, this is a little thing with our registration. So you can see that's our aircraft registration, as well as our CCAL code. And then we have our limits here. This is good to know for how fast, the maximum speed you could go. Like right down here will tell us how fast you can go if you are going at a certain distance. If how fast maximum you can go if you have flaps out at first speeds. So if you have flaps at 1, you can only go 230 knots maximum, or else you'll be overspeeding. And then it gets lower and lower, obviously, because the flaps will help create more lift, but also create drag and keep the speeds lower. Sorry, I was scared there for a second. The controller almost fell out of my hand, and but if you keep moving the knob, eventually the autopilot will automatically disengage. So I don't want that to happen. I'd rather just keep it engaged. Right below here is just a little mini version of this, with not as much information, but just everything you'll need to know. Kind of what they used to have back in the day. And this here is a little old-fashioned heading cone. It'll tell us which way to be pointing for certain vectors and certain VOR headings. This here is our landing gear status. It'll tell us everything we need to know, if the landing gear is down, or if it's up, or if it has a problem. This here is a brake fan. It's a fan on the brakes, make sure the wheels don't overheat. This is just anti-skid and nose wheel steering on, which is important. We want that on. We need it on because that's how we steer the airplane through the steer it when we taxi. This is our auto brake system. This will activate when we need to decelerate at a time. So we can change when we land mode low or medium. When we're taxiing, we want to be on max. And this right here is a chronometer, as well as something that tells us our UTC time. And then it'll also give us, I believe it's a little timer on the bottom as well. And we move on to the important computer. This one here is most important. It tells us our engines and our statuses. So fuel flow in kilograms per hour, our M1 in percent, our N2 in percent. What M1 and N2 mean, I don't know, but I do know that it's basically how much throttle. M1's most important. EGT is just the temperature of the engines. So we're at, this might look kind of high, but this is normal. Anything in the red zone obviously is not good. This right here is a little flaps coordinator thing. I don't know if you noticed it before, but if you notice it during landing, I can't obviously turn it on now. It'll create problems, but eventually it'll show us the status of the flaps. You can see that right now they're retracted. This right here is our fuel on board. Tells us how much fuel in kilograms we have. And then this right here is a little checklist of things. So right now I can turn the seatbelts off, and there's no list of items. But let's say, for example, error messages would pop up here in case something happens, and then it would give me a checklist of items to do. It's also an important column. It kind of gives us overview statuses of things we need to know. This one is also very important. This one can change, can actually change based off of what we select. So if I select engine, it'll give more information on the engine. How many, for example, how many quarts of oil are in the engine, the PSI, the oil PSI, and the temperature of the oil, as well as I don't know what these two numbers are. It also tells us how much fuel is used by each engine, which is good to know. This here will give us the air outside, the temperature of it, as well as our gross weight. And then when we're at cruising altitudes, this is kind of just an overview of everything we need to know. So there's our little engine information, there's our air information. It'll tell us if it's too hot, too cold in the aircraft. So this is all great stuff to know. Also, what our cabin altitude is. What that means is very important. An airplane keeps itself pressurized on the inside, and the way it does that is essentially that if you were exposed to 35,000 feet, you would have some problems. I don't think I need to explain those problems, but if you want, basically, like not enough oxygen to breathe, air is denser, as well as you'll have problems with the pressure. So instead, what we do is we have an equivalent cabin altitude, which is essentially saying that right now in the cabin, the air is fine because you have a steady stream of air and you're sealed off, but the pressure inside of the aircraft that you feel on yourself is only going to only feel as if you were going 7,240 feet. That's what that means. And then also it'll give us our cabin vertical speed, which I showed before. It'll tell us how fast we're moving up and down versus in the cabin versus what we actually are doing in real life. It also tells us what it thinks our landing elevation is going to be, from sea level. So it believes it's going to be 1,020, which is good to know. And then I don't know what delta P is for, I'm gonna be honest, but I guess that's an important thing to know. This here is a little diagram. Shows everything that we need to know. These are all coming from the engines, so you can see the engine 1 and engine 2, the air they're outputting, which is good to know. Once we have that, so it says 44 psi of air, and as well as what degree the air is, and then it uses the outside air, which is a lot colder, and then using that air, so make sure we're all good, we are. Using that air, it cools it down to a comfortable 15 degrees, so that way it can be air conditioned. If we want to make it heat it hotter, we can change that. So you can see if I go here and I change the temperature to be more warmer, you'll actually see that it'll increase. Any second now. If I put it at max, it should change. Or I'm actually, I think I know why. It's probably for the cabin. So if I change it to 1 notch hotter, it should increase. Yeah, you can see how the pressures are changing because it's trying to push more of this hot air out. Or maybe not, I don't know. If I make it colder, it should, there it goes, yeah. So colder we can do quicker. Hotter is going to be kind of hard to do. You can see we're down to already 4 Celsius very quickly, so I'm going to put it back to the middle, which will increase it back up. So that's an overview of the bleeding system. The cabin pressure system, again, what I was saying, uses a system, as I was like I was saying, through packs to inlets and outlets, and then also what the equivalent vertical speed cabin altitude is and the delta pressure on the inside. What that means, I don't know. We have our electrical system. This kind of shows overview of all the electrics, everything you need to know. So you can see generator 1, generator 2, obviously, engine 1, engine 2 generators. You can see how they're operating and how much percentage of usage is being put on each one. And you can see we're getting 115 volts. This is in AC, as well as how many hertz. And then now we'll go into AC, and then it has a little conversion into DC, so 29 volts and how many amps. And then now go into through the batteries. So it keeps the loads, keeps the batteries recharging. And then the APU generator would also pop up here, but it's not on right now. So yeah. So our hydraulic system kind of shows a little overview of the hydraulics, coming in from engine 1 and engine 2 through the pressure it makes. And after that we have so green, yellow is for our main engine hydraulics, and then we have blue, which is the electric fully, and then on the yellow system we also have a little mini backup electric. The electric is important in case engine 1 and engine 2 were ever to go out. We'd still have hydraulics to control the plane, because you can't control it by hand. Shows our fuel, so you can see how much fuel is on each wing of the aircraft, which is important to know. And then also how much is going to the APU, which is off right now, which is so it'll be 0. And how much is being used by each engine. And then we can also have a turn on a cross feed, which will basically push all this. So essentially, if this tank goes empty, because this tank is the only primary one that's feeding engine 2, if this tank were to go empty, but there's still fuel in the center tank, we can cross feed it and push fuel through there in order to keep the engine alive. Sorry, I dropped my controller once again. I want to make sure Aeropilot stays on. It's kind of important. And you can see our fuel flow through the 2 engines combined, as well as how much fuel is remaining on board. This here is our APU. I kind of showed this before. It shows our N, which is our percentage of how the throttle, as well as the temperature of it, and how much the generator is going, and how much the pressure it's giving. Right now it's 0. This is our conditioning. It shows the you know, if it's what temperature air is being blown out. This is our door system. It shows that right now it says slide because all the doors are in auto mode, which is important because if we weren't in auto mode, we'd have problem. Well, if they're in auto mode, because essentially the way it works is if there was an emergency and you wanted to open the door, you want a slide to pop. It would be a slide that pops out, and when the slide pops out, you will you get into it, and that's part of the safety protocols. When the door gets set to manual, it turns that system off, so that way when you pull into the gate, you don't deploy a slide and damage things. Those slides are not hard to put back in. So here's our wheel system. It shows everything we need to know about the wheels. So you can see the temperature of each wheel in the back, which are the important ones because they're the braking ones. It shows the front ones, but not too important, and as well as our pressures on the inside. The pressures are pretty important because well, they're higher than your normal like car pressures because they use nitrogen, as well as these tires are very, very different. And we have our flight controls. So you can see our speed brakes system, our pitch, and our trim, as well as our elevator, which basically controls how if we're moving up or moving down, and then left and right. It controls if we go left, we go right, and our rudder also can move our left and right as well. But you don't use that as often. You try not to use that. The rudder is only there to keep the airflow and airspeed alive. Kind of like how you need the wings in the airplane to keep going. And that's that whole system. So you can see if I go to all, it says status normal, which is good. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna leave this on just engine because it's just a basic thing that's needed to know. So here's our throttle. Right here is our pitch or our trim. Most of the time it's called. It's good at doing fine tune controlling for our elevator, rather than using the joystick, which would have more movement, whereas this can be more fine tuning. This is normally controlled automatically. However, if that system were to fail, then you could just use this to pitch the airplane up. You can really turn it pretty far if you had to. So if you kept going and going and going and going and not stopping, you could pull up the plane up, the equivalent of pulling the joystick up. And then these two are our throttles. This is engine 1 and engine 2. We can actually separate the two if we wanted to. And then you could just do only for engine 1 and engine 2 running. It is possible to fly an aircraft with only one engine on the left side or on the right side and still be safe. So, and then the way this works is you can see right now we're on that little arrow indicates we're on CL, which is just cruising or control. When we took off, we went to this here, which is flex or MCT. If we wanted to go all the way up without any limits, we go to toga, but that's normally not as fuel efficient as going to flex MCT. And then this is all the throttle. And then right here would be 0, and then anything up, that's above, that's in between here, would just kind of be fine-tune adjustments. And then reversers, you push back fully. So this here's our engine control. Obviously, I don't think it goes without saying, turning this off would not be very good. So yeah, when we start it, we turn this to ignition start, and then we would turn them on. But that basically opens up the valve to turn them on. This here is our weather controller. Controls how we see the weather radar. So if I turn this tilt will tell us how far down or how far up it's gonna look for weather. And then the mode we are in, we always do WX plus T. Then this here's our speed brakes. If you go up, it'll actually just have them armed, ready to go, so you can pull them out faster. And then as you pull it out, it's a quarter of the way, halfway, 3/4, and full. You also have a little fine adjuster for the rudder trim. You don't use this. You only use this in an emergency if you have to. Cockpit door here. So this is how you lock it. So one big change is since September 11th, you can't. You cannot open the cockpit door from the outside. once it's locked in here, nobody's getting in unless the person in here flips the switch. And that's done because now since then, the way it works is in an aircraft, the pilot and the captain are not to let anybody into the cockpit no matter what. They could be killing people. They are not allowed in. This here is normally would be a printer for us to print out our onboard flight plan. It's obviously I think it doesn't go without saying there's really no need to have a printer because it's a flight simulator. This is a gravity gear extension. This is important in case our main our hydraulic were to fail and our gear wouldn't come out. We could just pull this up, we can turn this, and then through gravity the gear would actually just fall down and then it would be set and ready to go. This here's a parking brake. You pull and turn it, it'll turn it on. Right now it's off obviously, but it won't do much. This here's another printer as well. This here's our flaps. So you can see right now it's at 0, but then you pull it up to 1, 2, 3 are full. When I take off I like to leave it at 2, but you can always put it, but when I land I put it on full. Moving on over, we have here, this is our kind of our controller system. It just kind of tells us where we are. Well, it also tells the other pilots where we are, so that way they can see through our TCAS system, through our traffic collision avoidance system. You set your squawk code by putting it in, which is normally given by ATC, but, well, there ain't any ATC, which is a big sad, so, yeah, F in the chat for that. This is the ident button in case the controller will say, can you please ident, because if they can't see you, fully, then the ident will just be like, hey, I'm here, and they'll be like, oh, okay, now I see you. You always kind of leave this stuff alone. The only thing you have to worry about is putting in the squawk code and then turning it to TARA for squawk code Charlie. This is our AIDS to print, which again, part of the printer. Our floodlight controller here, so let's change it doesn't have to be too bright in there right now, but this is pretty comfortable for me. And then these two right here, I'm going to move to the main cockpit, the pilot, the captain one, because I think it's more important to show. When the button's illuminated, we can hear it, and then we have level control by turning a knob, and then we can only speak if I select it like this. So if you wanted to do the PA, you'd select that, turn it on, and you would turn on, so you can hear what's going on in the PA as well as speak into it. So right now you can see VHF1 allows us to talk to ATC, which is what we have, and then this is how we would change it. So the way you do it is you put in the code, you set that up, and you would swap, and then swap. So that's how you would do that. You also have your standby navigation. However, you don't normally put it in through here. There's another way, which I will show you through the flight data computer. So I believe I covered everything on the lower panel, which yes I did, which means that I can move. Well, I'm going to cover one other thing. This is an obvious. Have you not seen any airplanes in movies? It's, if you really still don't know, it's the landing gear. Right now it's up, it'll go down when we land. So I'll make sure we're not going to be approaching our top of descent anytime soon, because we're gonna still have to descend at least before we get to our waypoint at Beggins, which is right here. There goes my phone. Grab that. Alright, got it. So you can see right here. Sorry, I got distracted. At Beggins, we do have a through the FAA, they put a restriction, so we have to be at flight level 240 when we're at that waypoint when we're cruising. So we're gonna have to descend down to that eventually, but we'll cross the bridge when we come to it. This one right here, I believe, shows how much braking force is being applied, as well as the braking pressure. Again, I say I believe because I know enough how to, of the instruments in this aircraft on how to fly it. That doesn't mean that I'm an expert. I'm sorry if you wanted me to be an expert, but I ain't. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. You know, I don't know what else really to talk about. I haven't been doing this in a while. If you can't really tell, I feel like I'm a completely different person. I'm not like the, you know, oh, jumpy person anymore. I'm kind of more laid back and chill and just like whatever. I try to just go with the flow with things and just life in general. A lot of people, I've learned that the hard way. There's a lot of people that kind of like, you know, push you away, and when they do that enough times, you kind of just realize you're like, okay, maybe it's me. And I kind of realized that, and so I was like, I'm doing a complete turnaround change now, which I've been doing very, very drastically, and I know a lot of people noticed it because I know one of my friends, he came up to me, he said, you've changed a lot, and I like how much you've changed. And I said, well, I appreciate that. I've been working on it very hard. I try to be different, and even if it means that other people do stuff that maybe I don't agree with or that I wish I was involved in, oh well, you know, you know, I'm here with you guys. I feel a lot better doing this than having any other problem, and you know, I rather, you know, I like doing this. If I'm not invited, then oh well, but I can do this. If I am, great, I'll go, but oh well. Enough of me venting about life. Let's continue on. But again, I hope you're enjoying this. If you are, feel free to leave a like. It really means a lot if you do. Tells me I'm not alone in this world. Because again, I could be just talking to myself, and this could be going on to a server where nobody's watching. But you know, you try not to think like that. Moving on to probably our most powerful thing on here, our flight data computer. This thing here is probably the most important thing used by air pilots all the time. So we're going to start with our first page, Direct 2. This is important to to airplane pilots because essentially what we're doing is when we do a flight path, we are trying to do one that's both efficient but also, you know, steers clear, because we cannot go in a straight line. So that's why we have different waypoints, and as part of some of those waypoints, air traffic control may tell us to direct to different waypoints, try to get us there faster, but it could also be to help clear traffic. So if I could get a call that says Delta 1546, clear direct Biggins, and I'll say clear direct Biggins, and then I will select Biggins, and so on and so forth. So you can select pretty much every every single one that we have selected here, depending on what they give us. You only do it if you're given clearance to do it. Here's our programming phase. Right now we're in cruising, but you can see that we change as we go along. So depends at what phase we're in, and this is kind of text for us. You see our performance. It shows our different phases again, so you can see we're in cruising, how much estimated fuel on board we're going to have to our top of descent, which we should be approaching soon, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. We also have what time it expects that. I believe that's what time it expects for us to get to our top of descent. I don't know for sure though. As well as to top of descent, our distance and what time it thinks, as well as the speed it wants to maintain, and our cost index. And we'll have a descent stage, which will just kind of be like how much fuel again and all that jazz. And then our approach phase is going to have a lot more information. So when we start descending, we're going to I'll show you, but we're going to start putting in all this information, such as altimeter, the temperature, magnitude, and the wind, as well as what we want our the approach speed to be, so our approach speed to be, as well as our minimum deciding altitude, which is kind of like the altitude that you need to decide if you're going to land or you're going to go around. And then after that, it's, you know, one or done. And then we ever go around, in case we decide to do a go around, it'll, it has this phase activated. It's not commonly used, it's more commonly used in a, general aviation with, like smaller airplanes like Cessnas or so on and so forth. And that's performance. Then we have our initial, which is just kind of where we start off everything from. We plan our where we're going from, where we're going to, and then that's what we use to align the IRS where we are, and that will tell it. We put in our flight number, our alternative route in case like we get diverted. So pilots normally always have an alternative route. There's no reason for us because we're in the simulator, so it's not like, you know, we want to get there. But honestly, it's 12:43 a.m. right around where I am. I don't have the brain power to deal with going to an alternative to the destination. This will also show right now where it believes our latitude and longitudes, as well as we put in our cost index, which will tell it how much fuel it believes, how much fuel it's going to calculate that it's going to cost, and our cruising flight altitude, as well as what it estimates or when it believes the temperature is going to be on the outside of the aircraft. Just make sure everything's going okay. Yep, we're all good. No problems. We are going to be approaching, though, a waypoint that we have to descend down for. Excuse me. If I click on wind, it'll actually, I can do a wind request, and it'll pull what the current winds are right now. It's supposed to do that. Why that is, it's not. Why it's not doing that, I don't know. Hello? Oh, yeah, not allow. Yeah, it's not doing it. It's supposed to do that, but again, this is simulating. From there, we can put in what our fuel is, and it makes the predictions. Okay, these are normally always predictions, never really final estimates. It doesn't know for sure because there could be other things that come along, such as different, you know, throttles. Kind of like if you put your car, like if you're in a car, if you constantly are revving the engine higher, it's going to use more fuel. If you rev the engine down less, it's going to use less fuel because it's all about fuel flow. So. Also, we'll estimate the times, and how long it thinks everything's going to take. So, route reserve is just how much is reserve extra for the route. How much it believes it's going to be in final that we're going to need in total, and how much really extra we're going to have. And we always leave ourselves a buffer in case we have to get to it, we have to be diverted. We have our data, so it shows our IRS, all three of them. So this is one, it's going to be, shows the position. You can see they're all slightly different by like small degrees, but they're most of the time they're all almost all perfectly aligned. So our position monitor, it basically kind of just takes them all and puts them into this here, so you can see they're a little bit slightly different. They're just the decimal points, but in reality they're all the same. This here is our GPS. Shows wants us to decelerate. Hold on. Alright, let me go ahead and figure out what's going on. It needs us to decelerate for some reason. Why that is, I do not know. Oh, I think it thinks that we're going too fast. So, okay. What do you want us to do? So we'll decelerate then. If it really wants us to. We'll go to Mach 7.2. It seems fine, or 7.3, honestly. The winds are working in our favor. I will at least admit that. We should probably start descending down. So I'm gonna go begin our descent down to 18,000 feet. It is probably a safer bet. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. That will put us into our descent, which is gonna begin right about now. And any second now, this should update, recognize that we're gonna be descending. That's only because we want to at least make an attempt to get to flight level 240 before it begins. It's not the biggest deal if we don't get there, because obviously it's no one there to yell at us. So yippee for that. We got some really strong crosswinds though. They're kind of pushing us, but again, we have to fly at an angle because of it. Most of the time, that's what happens, but it's okay. I hope that was a quick little fun rundown of everything. Again, I apologize, but now we have to kind of focus and actually do stuff. I'd love to show you the rest of it, but once this plane lands, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't know why I said y'all. I'm from Long Island. I'm not a y'all person. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm tired. I want to get to Taco. I promise I'm not drunk. I don't drink. It's just kind of a personal choice, but it still doesn't mean I'm not allowed to like Taco Bell. I want to get Taco Bell, and then I want to eat it, and then go to bed. I am really tired, and I also am going to be driving home tomorrow, which is 6 hours. So I figured I'd have some fun, and also at least fulfill my promise to some of my friends who I told that I was going to be flying. Jesus, I'm tired. This is why I'm a very good pilot. I can't tell if I'm being funny. I hope I am. But regardless of that, let me go ahead and let me put in our numbers. So I'm gonna go ahead and get our meter, which is telling us our QNH is gonna be 29.901. Our wind temperature is going to be 11 degrees Celsius. Our winds are going to be 320. So 17 knots at 320 degrees heading. And I always like to put 250 for a minimum descending altitude. Now we can go ahead and decide what we need everything else to be at, and that's where our landing performance here. This was normally never here before, but now it is. I really like this. So we're going to be because we're descending, I should probably notify the traffic. So I'll do that quickly. Land traffic is Delta 1546, currently descending out of 27,000 feet, and going to be flying into Atlanta. Now, the chance of anyone actually hearing me say that is slim to none, but I like to believe. So we're on 26 right. Our wind speed, it's going to be, yep, this is all correct. That's all correct. I don't know if it's an HPA, but yeah, that is technically correct. All my conditions should be dry. Anti-ice should be off. It's going to be dry. Our landing weight, that should be correct. Landing configuration should be full. Air conditioning on. Pilot V approach. I'm going to leave it at 0. I'm going to put our braking at low. I think that's safe to do. This is saying our V approach is going to be 150. So I'm going to change this to 150. I wonder what happens though if I change this to 146. What happens? If it changes much. Yeah, no, it doesn't change. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll put in 150 for our approach speed. Our landing distance is going to be, let me see. So yeah, it kind of just shows this little nice, pretty kind of important diagram that explains everything pretty well. So I just want to make sure everything's still going okay, which it is. As well as, I don't know what that is, and I don't know what that is, but it says our status is okay. And you know what? If a thing tells me our status is good for landing, I'll take that any day. Also gives the meter, which apparently it actually got for us, which is kind of cool. So we're good to go. We're flying Gucci, guys. Everything is great. So I'm gonna go ahead. We got all our arrival information in there, our approach stuff. So we're good to go. I'm gonna see how we're doing on altitudes. I think I'm gonna set this back to however we want it to be. I'm gonna deploy our speed brakes as well. Nope, nope, nope. That was not the button for speed brakes. That was for flaps. This is the button for speed brakes. Whoops. What's that noise? Is there like another aircraft nearby? Hold on. Shouldn't be. Yeah, there's not. I don't know. I thought I heard another aircraft somewhere. I'm gonna lower this even more. I want to get down to like 8,000 feet. So our speed brakes are out now. Yeah, you can see it says speed brakes. You can actually look and see. So you can see how it shows the arrows, kind of shows that they're up. If I increase them, you'll see more arrows pop up. Once they actually deploy. We should be, yeah, we're at halfway. If I go to 3/4 or full, they should, all the arrows should deploy. So now I'm at max. I don't want to hold that for too long though, because it's going to create too much drag, and I don't want to do that. Because then we're at risk of putting ourselves in the stall. Okay, all the arrows should have came on. I don't know why they didn't. As you can see, the stall, you know, that it's concerned about, it changes as we decrease in altitude. So you can see we'll be okay holding vehicle speed of 260 at the lower altitudes. But as the higher up we go, the faster we're gonna have to go, which is also fine. So everything's going great. And our speed's fine. So you can see it's flashing now, it's telling us to change it, so we're going to go ahead and change this. And we're going to want to change our QNH to, what is the meter still the same? I'm going to double check. 29 or 9 or 1. And then it's going to kick out an error if I don't change it myself. I wonder if there is. I'm gonna see if there's like a way to keep it that they both always show the same thing. If there is a setting for that, I just haven't done that. I would be so happy if there's a way. There is. Oh, that makes everything so much better. Hold on, wait, let me see if this is true. My life is complete now. You know, I was a little upset today. Not about anything. I'm lying, but I feel so much better now. So I'm gonna go ahead and save preferences and default values. So I want them to be the same every time I fly this aircraft. This is also a good point to mention that this is where you put in the ILS. What's it called again? It's a radio frequency. The CRS kind of just tells it which way it's pointing. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that from here. So it's telling us which is correct, 110.1, and our CRS should be 275, but that's gonna change. Well, yeah, it shows it on there, but it's gonna eventually change. Oh my god, I'm tired. So let me just make sure that we're descending okay. We need to be, so yeah, actually we're doing totally fine. We need to be at 1400, which we're going to be for but so we're doing great. So make sure that we follow the plan. I'm actually gonna do one quick little edit here, and that is I need to set this up for a 20, an ILS, which will make my life so much easier. Who also told me if there's any other concerns or issues about whether we have, what's it called again? If we have, like, you could, I mean, you can't see it on my, well, I don't know if I drag it in, if you can see it. Yeah, no, you can't. My map here that I look at is currently will tell me if there's like minimum altitudes that we have to worry about. XPlane should be running full. I don't see if there should be an issue. Oh. Alright, taking myself right back up where I came from. The frames per second should not be an issue. And this is why, hold on, we got a problem. Oh boy, what's going on? I see an aircraft. Let me make sure. I think part of the problem might be, let me turn on my lights. I want to make sure I don't want to collide with other aircraft, so I need to, as much as I love to keep teaching people things, because I think knowledge is you know, it's a very important skill, and I think it's great to know. I need to focus, because this is where things can go very wrong if I don't want to collide with another aircraft. I think that goes without saying. So, let me make sure that there's not going to be an issue with aircraft colliding. And the land traffic is Delta 1546, currently descending out of 10,000 feet into 8,000. I don't think there's a need anymore for the speed brakes, but I'm going to earn them anyway. I'm also going to turn down the lights a little bit. It's not really a need for that many lights. Floodlights, not so much, but the integrated lights I want to on. Floodlights, can go all the way down. Nope, I want that on. There's some light in here, and I don't know where it is, and I don't like it on. I'm just trying to check to see if there's any traffic I have to be concerned about, which I don't think I do. We're doing fine, guys. Alright, so now we're out of 10,000 feet, so the seatbelt sign should go back on now. This is really cool. I didn't realize that this has everything I need in it. Now, I do wonder, there is one thing that I've been struggling with this plane, and that is, it is not very good. I'm going to go down to 5,000. It's not very good at doing ILS approaches. When I put it, the way you normally do it is you lock it onto the localizer. Once it intercepts the localizer, and then you'll see the diamond pop up. Once the diamond pops up on the right side, which is for to keep a steady downward, what do you call it again? Steady downward approach. It literally, I kid you not, will just start turning right. I don't know why. Other people have reported it as a problem. But, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure why it does that. It's not supposed to. I will say there is some pretty nasty crosswinds hitting us. You can see we have a 34 knot crosswind hitting us right now, and which means that when we approach the runway, we're gonna have literally like pretty much a wind shear effect. It's gonna be hitting us literally right dead on in the front. feeling good. This morning I made the best breakfast. I had some eggs and I had some eggs. I had pancakes and I had some. What else I have? I had 3 sausages. Everything was great. So, how long have I been streaming for? Let's take a look. I've been going for 2 hours and 5 minutes. Wow. I always constantly forget as well, and I apologize for this, but that there's a delay in when when I speak versus what you guys are seeing right now. I think it's like a 20-second delay. I don't know why, but yeah, something to keep in mind. Well, really keep in mind for myself, not really much you guys need to worry about. Alright, so we're at 5,000. I don't want to go any lower. Then literally it becomes safety concerns. So you can see. I did it again. Man, this controller really puts up with a lot of abuse. I'm really tired. Can't wait to land this plane and go to sleep. I learned ever since I turned 18. I'm 19 right now, if you didn't know. But ever since I turned 18, I just kind of like everything like starts hurting. You have to deal with like real world adult problems. If there are any teenagers listening, let me be the one to tell you. Enjoy those years. Enjoy having homemade food. That's a big thing. I miss it so much. I know, although I make a pretty killer steak that I cook myself, I enjoy it. You have no idea how many problems adults have to deal with between credit card debt and student stuff, and it's a lot of responsibilities. It's fun. I can buy scratch off tickets. That's kind of fun to do, but again, there's so much that you have to give up that your parents have to let you live there until you turn 18. Now, obviously, I love my parents. They do everything in the world for me, and so they've always made it clear I'm welcome there anytime. I'm welcome to leave anytime, but there's always a bed space for me, essentially, which is kind of a nice thing for them. I don't even know why I was talking about that. Oh, no, I know why now. You can see how clearly I think about, I think. I'm definitely mentally stable, if you can't tell. So, right now we're going to be getting ready for approach. I want to go down to 3,000, to be honest, so let's do it and go down to 3,000. I'm going to warn traffic. I want to go in, we're going to be going in for runway 26 right, so let's go ahead and give them warning. And Atlanta traffic, this is Delta 1546. We're going to be pretty soon heading on to runway 26 right. We'll advise once we are on the final approach. Just want to give the heads up. And I got disconnected. Ain't that wonderful? See, yeah, now you can see the houses and everything down there. I mean, you couldn't really see it before because it's pretty dark out, but it's not anymore. We're gonna have to slow down soon. Our frames per second is having some problems. I don't know why. It's why I keep getting kicked off, and I don't like this. Okay, we should not go lower than 3,000. I want us. I want us to stay at 4,000. No, stay at 4,000. Forget that. I think this might be struggling because it's trying to load in all the items. I think that could be the problem. But again, don't quote me on that. Yeah, this is probably really struggling because it's trying to load in all the graphics. Yeah, I'm gonna launch something quickly. Hold on. Make sure there's also no traffic in the way. I don't want to get kicked off. Yeah, just what I thought. It's gonna keep kicking me off. I think it's because it's getting again. I think my graphics card just sucks. I can't. That's the only reasoning I can think of this. Cause like we're really getting like frame limited. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is to go in here and just change the graphics, which I'm probably going to do. Nope, don't want to change that. So, I apologize. I just have to change that quickly. Because I can't deal with being kicked on and then being kicked off constantly. Let me go ahead and open this up and see if I can like somehow adjust like the game graphics. Yeah, I know you're gonna kick me off. Just give me a second. Let me see if I can tune the game performance or something. See if I can overclock the GPU or something. No, I don't want to do that. I hope we don't crash. If so, it should be done soon. There we go. So I'm hoping that this doesn't do too much damage. Let's see how much better, if we can do much better. Looks like we're doing better. It definitely feels a lot smoother. So, and we'll say though, the temperature. I'm looking at like my temperature gauges and everything. So, this graphics card though, I built this computer almost 4 years ago. It's served me well, but I think it's time pretty soon to get an upgrade on this thing. I've been wanting to potentially build a new computer for a while. So, alright, let me make sure we're following everything that we need to follow. Yep, we're doing good so far. I love how my thing says Saturday Funday, yet it's already Sunday. Like, I don't know. So this is gonna be it's gonna be a fun landing. It shouldn't be too bad. Now, that's of course, I could really mess things up very quickly. kind of, I know I can do that to myself, but I hope I don't. Alright, let me make sure that nobody else is gonna be flying in. There's at least like on some type of approach to where we're gonna be landing at. And let me also put on LS, which is gonna be important. So yeah, you can see like the warnings are still popping up, and then they go away. It's like I don't know, this graphics card just sucks, like really bad. I don't know why. So you can see it's showing us that it's recognizing where the airport's from. Wow, I'm sorry, I'm just noticing now. That's why I don't feel as cold. There's a lot of heat. My computer's when it tries to push itself, it pushes itself hard. And because it pushes itself pretty hard, it outputs some pretty serious heat, a lot of it. And so, yeah, I mean, it's pumping out a lot of heat. Honestly, it's making me feel warm. It's keeping me warm. And, I have a fan running. Alright, I'm gonna be getting ready to land pretty soon, so you can see it's a pretty good view of everything. Let me just make sure once again we shouldn't have any concerns about I don't want to be concerned if there's anybody who's going to be trying to land or take off from there. There shouldn't be much. Come on. Please don't tell me there's still problems. Yep, there we go. Alrighty, we're getting ready, folks. We're gonna be great to go. Well, once again, you guys enjoyed watching this. I know I enjoyed this. Give me something fun to do tonight, and look forward to it. So, have fun with your things. So you can see these are the diamonds I was talking about. You can see how. So pretty soon we're gonna be lined up with these diamonds. Just pretty soon we just want to get a line. That's what the cool thing about this flight computer is, that it'll actually make these things. So instead of it being like a sharp turn when there's like a waypoint that's away, it'll just create these curves for us, these really nice curves to keep everything kind of in line. So it's pretty nice. I want to see if we can. I want to know if we can see the airport from here. Yeah, we can. So that's good. Alrighty. Because once we hit this waypoint, we're going to be on our 3 nautical mile final. I believe, or it might be, nope, I lied. Not our 10 nautical mile final. So once that happens, I'm going to have to advise everybody. But staying at 4,000 is definitely a safe approach to this. So you can see, yep, now we're going to be slowing down. So because we're going to be slowing down, I'm going to get ready to pull the flaps out. So we're going to go ahead and do flaps 1. And then you can see the bar is lowering, which is good. That's what you want. Because we want our speed to be at 180. We're trying to slow down. And then we want to get down to 152. So that's all good. So then we want to go out to flaps 2. Try to get. We want to keep lowering our speed. You can see there's I was talking about before. There's our flaps extending out. You can see. It's a cool little unique feature. And then we're gonna go ahead and do flaps 3. Again, this is all going to create lift. So you can see how the aircraft is starting to lift up here, but then the autopilot recognizes this and is going to push the aircraft down further to keep maintaining that speed. And then right this way is going to be the airport, but we're going to be getting ready to land soon, so we'll see it eventually. So pretty soon, right about now, we're going to be turning, and then we're going to be getting ready. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go flaps out full. And once they go out to full, you can see this is going to lower, and it's going to become pretty clear to find what we want to get. So this is going to be interesting to see if the localizer approach is going to work. If not, I'm going to be letting this by hand, which will get down onto the ground. Yes. Will it be smooth? Probably not. So we're going to find out. No, it's not going to do it. If I try approach, nope. Alrighty, means I get to fly this by hand. Wonderful. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, we're going to disable autopilot. I'm going to notify everyone. Layout traffic, this is Delta 1546. We are currently on a 10 nautical mile approach for the runway 26 right. Let me get back in line with the runway, and then I just need to start descending. You can actually kind of see it up in the front, but kind of not. So I figure it's kind of cool to tell. Yeah, you can see it's right there. So we have the runway in sight. We're going to be doing this visual approach now. So I'm going to be doing it where essentially I'm looking at the runway. I'm not using my instruments to tell me where to go. I'm using my eyes. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get gear down.
2,500.
This system's just warning us. We still have auto throttle on, which is important to note. So I'm just doing some fine adjustments as we approach the airport. Everything should be all set. Normally, landing checklist will pop on. I don't know why it hasn't yet. So you can see that we have a pretty nasty wind shear that's kind of pushing us to the left. So we're going to be doing the approach where essentially we are going to turn to the right, because that's essentially our version of being straight. And the reason why we have to do that is because we're accounting for the fact that the wind is literally kind of picking up the fact that we're turning right. It'll keep us straight on. So I want to get us a little bit on lower on course, but not too low. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to do one final cabin check. I also want to start the APU. So you can see it's warning us that we're at 1,000. Yeah, there's some pretty... Oh my god. It disconnected us again. Jeez, how much more does it want us to do? I will say though, yeah, I can kind of see the frame rate's not doing too well. That's why I think this graphics card sucks really bad. Come on. I mean, the graphics in this game, don't get me wrong, they're amazing. But again, this graphics card really sucks. So, I can tell you, vertical speed's not doing too well right now. This is not going to be the smoothest landing, but we're going to be doing okay. Oh my god. Stop freaking disconnecting us. Oh, although our frame rate kind of sucks. Okay. Pretty soon now, we're going to be pulling off our... There we go. We're going to be approaching the runway. And I'm going to be turning off the auto throttle. So, there you go. So right now, we don't really care what our speed's going to be. I'm coming in pretty high, unfortunately. Alright, yeah, screw VATS in. Here we go.
40, 30,
Flare up.
20, Retard. 10, 5.
And reversers. Shit, I forgot to put on auto brake. Hang on, let me turn the... There we go. Now we're really decelerating because the speed brakes are gonna take over. There we go. Alright, we're gonna get ready to pull off, so let me go ahead and find a good spot to pull off. And we don't really ever want to be fully, like, stopped on the airport. So we're gonna take this all the way to the end. That was an okay landing. I'm gonna be fully honest, wasn't the best, but it could be worse. I'm gonna try reconnecting the VATSIM though, because I think that's ridiculous. I deserve to be on VATSIM. So our APU's on, which is good, and we're gonna be ready to. We're gonna try to attempt to get ready to clear the runway. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clear it up here. And then once we do that, we can get more situated because we don't want to be sitting on an active runway. So we're gonna pull in. And I'm gonna stop right here for now. And I'm gonna form ATC. Atlanta traffic Delta 1546 cleared runway 26 right, going to taxi to the gate. I'm gonna pull back our spoilers, we don't have to do that. I'm gonna pull back our flaps as well. And then I'm gonna have our APU bleed on as well, because we're gonna need that. And we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna have us taxi to gate via hotel, or I guess you can kind of call it Bravo Hotel, and then I believe that's Foxtrot. I can't tell for sure. Yeah. Alright, let's do that. So we can go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna get some really nice Taco Bell after this. This is a real. Atlanta is considered, I believe, this is the largest and most busiest aircraft in continental U.S., which I guess kind of makes sense, but so is JFK and Long Island. That's a pretty busy airport. We'll say this is a pretty fun flight to do. I'm glad we didn't do the 6-hour one. The 6-hour one would have been way too long. I'm tired. So, there we go. We're actually going to be taking this through. I'm going to be crossing 26 left. Well, before I do, I need to make sure nobody else is trying to take off or is attempting to take off or land at 26 left. Again, this would be a lot easier if we had an air traffic controller. I don't see anybody. Atlanta traffic Delta 1546 going to be crossing runway 26 left. Yeah, I don't see anybody taking off or landing here. My radar doesn't show anybody taking off or landing there, so we should be okay. What the hell? I don't know what that is. Jesus. Quiet? What is that? Alright. As annoying as that is, I don't know how to stop it. Yeah, I don't know what that is. What the hell is that? Oh, it could be the lights? No. What is that? You know, that's something I'm gonna have to look up later. 'Cause that is quite annoying. It has something to do with the landing system, I think. Finally. Wow, that was annoying. Alright, and let's find a available gate that's not occupied. This was fun to do, I will say. See, is this available? Looks like it might. No, it's not. I thought it was available. Here's an available one. Let's go ahead and pull into this one. You know, view it from the outside is a little bit easier. Because I don't have AutoGate installed, for at least for this aircraft. Or airport, if you want to call it. Almost there. Right there is good. Parking brake should be set. Very good. APU bleeds on, good. APU gens on, and we're gonna go ahead and disconnect, turn off the engines. There's engine 2, there's engine 1. And everything should be all set. If only I had AutoGate installed this here. This would be so much easier. I'm going to turn the seatbelt sign off. Emergency exit lights can turn off. And can unlock the cockpit door. And it's a matter of turning everything off, but who cares? It's a simulator, but still kind of good to do that. Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed watching me. If you haven't already, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment. This is going to be uploaded directly to YouTube after, so it's always available for your viewing. And yeah, I should probably, let me have, I want to make this a little more realistic. One last thing is put external power, the chocks as well, and I'm going to put the loading, where is it? Yeah, I don't know if I can do it. Yeah, I think it's, yep, there it goes. It's starting to open the doors now. I haven't tried this. I'm gonna to, though. Ground handling. It kind of works for me, kind of doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't work sometimes. I'm gonna see what happens if I try to tell them to drive all. What is this? Huh. I don't know. I'm just kind of playing around. But anyway, hope everyone enjoyed. Feel free, leave a like, leave a comment. And yeah, I did not mean to do that. Close this out. And yeah, hope everyone has a good one. I'll see you all on the other side.